What's going on, YouTube? Hope you guys are doing awesome, my friends. What a great, what day is it? Wednesday. Thought it was Thursday for a second. Sometimes the days sneak up on you. Man, I hope you guys are doing great. We're going to talk today about 3 crypto projects I've got my eye on. These are not going to be full reviews. Just a few that some of the community have reached out and talked to me about, or ones that have just come across my own eyes. So you guys probably know, but I do pay attention to you on Twitter and other places too when you reach out. So I'm going to cover a few that the community's been screaming at me. I will say this though, as we get started, this is not like these are not endorsed reviews. No one's paying me a penny for these things. I get no dollars from any of the stuff I'm talking about today. In fact, I don't know any of the founders for any of these projects. So I thought I would just say that. But, if I were going to be sponsored by someone, let me tell you who I'd rather be sponsored by. These guys. Does anyone like Cheez-Its? They're like the greatest food ever. If I were going to choose a sponsor, it'd be them. Or it'd be like the back of it. This back here is Minecraft. Also would be the coolest sponsor ever. So I'm not opposed to sponsors, right? But I'm not going to take paid sponsors for reviews. And by the way, Cheez-It is not sponsored. I'm going to tell you who else I would choose is these guys right here. It's probably a little bit more unknown to many of you guys. Buc-ee's. I don't know if anyone knows Buc-ee's or not, but so we were going back home to, I used to live in Kentucky for a good portion of my life. We were going back to see some friends. It's also why my videos went way down, my production. And we stopped at a Buc-ee's off the highway. We actually drove this time, which was miserable. It was a wonderful about close to 20 hours of driving, maybe 16. Anyway, they have these Buc-ee's. They're like straight out of Texas. If you've never seen one and you see one on the highway, you need to stop. It's an experience. There's like 200 plus gas stations. They're like they have the restrooms are like incredible. There's like tons and tons of restrooms all in there. They have a full-time restroom attendant that's like constantly cleaning. Like I can't believe I'm talking about this on the live stream. Anyway, I had a friend of mine that lives in Texas is like, Wes, when you stop in, you got to get the beef jerky. And by the way, I'm keeping it low because I'm gonna embarrass myself. I've already eaten the bag full. It was super, super good. So I ate it in like 3 days worth. But Buc-ee's is an experience. Just trust me. If you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, stop by and it's incredible. It's the way gas stations ought to be. So that's who I would pick if I were picking my sponsors. But none of these projects are my sponsors. So a couple things I want you guys to think about and do. We're getting close to 100,000 subs. That's kind of wild to me. I've been talking about this in my videos lately. It's pretty exciting to me. Like I'm pumped and blown away. Like I'd even have a chance to get there. So definitely hit like and subscribe. I'd love for you guys to do that. It's a great way for you to get out there and just to show a little love back. Definitely do that because I can't wait. When I get the 100K, we're going to do something cool together. I'll just schedule a live stream. Any of you guys want to pop in and join are welcome to. But like literally, that's a bucket list item that's on my list. So let's get into the top 3 projects that I have got my eyes on. Not top 3 because they're going to blow up. They could all fall apart, but each of them have something unique that gets me thinking, that tunes me into them for some reason. I'll share what those reasons are, but keep in mind, this is not an endorsement. I don't want any of you going off and buying any of the 3 that I'm showing today. I am not recommending that you buy them. You guys know on this channel, I tell you all the time, do your own research, make your own wise decisions. This guy here is not your financial advisor. No crypto YouTuber should be your financial advisor. If you listen to people like me, you're going to go broke. So it's not about that. It's just about there's awesome new technology coming out all the time. And I think it's a privilege to be able to give some of it some love on my channel, just so you guys can be aware of them too. So you may like them, you may not. No big deal. Or I may cover one that don't cover one that you're like, why did you not cover it? Well, maybe I will eventually, right? Just be patient. We'll see where I get. But these are 3 that I think are pretty darn cool for each for their own reason. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna share my screen out. Looks like I had it shared, but now it's unshared. So whatever, let's go back over here and share screen. And let's get this out. Here we go. So this is the first one. And I don't know if you guys have seen these whole play to earn games that are coming out, but I think they're awesome. One of the things I've talked about on my crypto channel for quite some time is we need to see more and more utility pour into the crypto space and let us have the room and capacity to innovate. And it makes total sense to me that gaming and play to earn games are like pushing the envelope of all of this because they're leveraging the back end blockchain technology to do things, whether it's NFTs that you earn on top of or a crypto, like a native crypto that like interplay with the NFT, or just good crypto platforms that are built for this, like Avalanche, Solana, Cosmos, some of the new stuff that's coming out. You're seeing a lot of the play to earn not in Ethereum because Ethereum just can't keep up. You're seeing this pushed into like the newer layer one blockchains that are coming out for all the reasons you'd expect. They're fast, they're fully capable of doing what we need them to do in terms of smart contracts, and they enable just this awesome new world. And this one here is super, super cool. So this one is called StepN, I guess, StepN. And I had a friend show this one to me, and they said, hey, you got to check this one out. So this is in the whole play to earn category of cryptos. If you've never seen play to earn, the idea behind this is you get involved in them, you purchase something. A lot of times it's an NFT, and that gets you into the ecosystem. Instead of just holding it like a Bored Ape, well, I guess Bored Apes do give you other things too. They give you the capability of like getting into certain Discord channels and drops and things like that. But this is different, right? This is an actual built-in game around all of this. And it bridges in metaverse, it bridges in Web3, all the cool buzzwords we love to talk about. And this one in particular, I really like because it's also combining the whole get outdoors, which you know what I'm talking about, you nerds. You're just like me, who's the chief of all nerds. We don't get outside enough. We just don't. And so this is one that's sort of incentivizing it, which I think is super, super cool. Now, here's the way this one works. So here it is, step in. Join today, make your steps count, Web3, SocialFi. I actually hadn't heard of SocialFi before, right? But like you have all this like DeFi, decentralized finance. So this is like social finance. It's added in, which I think is going to be the future. You're going to see more and more projects come out around SocialFi. I even saw one that's like a bike rideshare app kind of thing that's come out. You're going to start to see ones that are like meet friends and dating apps that come out. You're going to see all this stuff that's blockchain enabled. And it's not just like running on the blockchain and that's it for the innovation. It's actually doing some really cool things that blockchain enable. So let's talk about what this one's doing. So this one is they're tracking distance run by the members. So it's like 14 million miles already run and counting. Carbon offset. I don't know how that one happened. I'm just not deep enough into this project. But it's blowing up, right? It's got 383,000 Twitter followers and has been around, I guess, since August when it started. And what's cool about this one is the way that you get in. Let me see if I can get back to this. Let me go to the download. Yeah, what I really like about this one is you go to download them and choose App Store. What's really cool about this one is look at this right here. So you actually access it through an app. Now, those of you that follow me when I talk about Pi Network, one of the reasons Pi Network is blowing up in popularity with like literally 35 million users and climbing every day is because of its ease of access as an entry point into crypto. You literally download the app, you start carving out your time, which is what they call mining, which I know is not the purest form of what mining means, but that's okay. And that's how you earn your crypto in Pi. StepN is very similar to this in that the entry point is an app. And I love that because it's very simple. We all have one of these. We all have a phone, right? So I love that perspective. And so the way that works is once you get into it, you're going to purchase one of your shoes. You can purchase multiple shoes. And then it has the app itself has a GPS component that tracks you as you walk or run, and you get rewarded based on that. Now, there's a lot more details that I'm not going to get into, primarily because I actually don't have access into this freaking thing yet. I've been like trying to get into it and I can't get in. If you guys are watching the live stream right now and you have access and you have an activation code that you can share with me, would you please do that? Because I would love to get in. Don't hold out on me, right? Like, don't be that person. I need into this. I want in. So this one is really cool because I'm someone that I do like to go walking and sometimes running. So like the ability for me to be incentivized all the more to do so, and then to be able to earn crypto in this StepN ecosystem and like upgrade my NFT shoe. This is really cool stuff. This is play to earn that I really like. There's a bunch of other play to earns that are out there. And if you find one you like, jump into it by all means. Now, here's the problem with this one. I'd love to do a full review. Here is their Discord channel. I've been trying to get into one of these suckers for a while. So the way it works is you bring up the app, and I'm not going to do it live with you right now, but I bring it up and then you log into it, which is super simple, but then it doesn't let you in until you have an activation code. And so I'm like, okay, no big deal. I'll go get an activation code. Should be simple. So I look around and go into their Discord channel for it, and they drop every 12 minutes right now. And so like I'm watching for this. Within seconds, I popped it in, the one that came in, and guess what? I did not get it. I was like, dang it, I missed it. It's like, this code has already been entered. I'm like, what are you talking about? I was like 10 seconds late. I'm like, fine. I'm going to wait for 12 minutes like you're going to make me. And then I'm going to like enter it in right away. So I'm sitting there, I'm watching. I actually set a phone timer on my iPhone. So it's like ding, 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 ding. I'm like, okay. So I go over to it. I log in. I'm watching for it. The second it comes in, type, boom. This activation code's already been used. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. How the heck do I get into this thing? So there are people that are publishing these codes right now, and some of them are like, they're kind of slick here, right? So like, here's one that actually, instead of just people are giving you the math codes or the codes right here, this person's making you do a little math. So it's like, here's the number, and then in parentheses, +1, +3, +1. So I can only assume that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So add 11 to it is what I think this is. But some people got really creative with their codes. Here's one. So you had to guess this one. It's 9x0xx406, and then X is like your lucky number. And so I actually brute forced them, and it was 7. So it was 97077,406 for this one. But guess what? Someone had already taken it. I'm like, no, I missed it again. And then one that was super cool is up here. They actually used some code. Let me show it to you. Somewhere up here, I remember seeing this guy. And it was an interesting one because you would actually have to decode it. Here's one with like a math problem that you see right here. Anyway, they're just, oh, here it is. So it's, I guess it's, I forget what dim is. Is this like VB? I can't remember. Anyway, I actually decoded this one. It's not very difficult, right? You just combine each of these together, and they're like addition or subtraction or multiplication. Pop that one in, and I missed that one too, right? So I'm like, man, I really want to get into this step thing. Like StepN thing. It looks super cool, but I guess there's so much demand in this platform right now. Like it's gated out. And I guess, supply and demand, they're like forcing scarcity in the system, whatever. But I'll tell you this, I'm not like beneath begging. So I used my YouTube channel as I might sometimes use my own privileges. And I reached out, I'm like, yo, does anyone have an invite code for me? And a few people hit like, but still nothing back at all. Still crickets. So I'm waiting to get into this thing, and I really do want in. I think what they're doing is really cool and incentivizing. You might finally see the fat, lazy crypto people like me finally get super active. And all of a sudden, you know what? It's going to be us, the crypto people, that are walking around like, we're the ones that are chiseled. We're the ones that are cut. And they're going to be like, oh, that's the crypto guys. Like, yeah, there's those guys. Ooh, they're the ones. Or gals, whoever. It doesn't matter. Maybe this is going to be the one that changes everything. I don't think so. I don't know. I don't care. I just think StepN is a really, really cool platform. And I love the play to earn. I love the combination of get outside and get active. It's pretty darn cool. So let me know what you think about StepN. I'm curious what you think about it. The next one I wanted to show you is Sienna. So Sienna is really cool. The reason I like Sienna is it is native into the Secret ecosystem, and Secret belongs inside of Cosmos. I've talked about Cosmos. I've talked about Secret quite a bit on this channel. And if you're unaware of like why I like the Cosmos network, the short 10 seconds is this. It's super cool because it's like an internet of blockchains. Anything built inside of Cosmos automatically interoperates with anything else in Cosmos, which is awesome. And Secret is a privacy preserving crypto. I've brought on some folks from the entire Secret project to talk about it on my channel, done interviews. Just search for Whispernode or Brendan, Brendan. I've done a couple interviews with him and Nick Hygienist, two friends of mine. I've done some interviews with them, just exploring what Secret is doing, built on top of all of the world of Cosmos. And Sienna is another project that's sort of in that same ecosystem. This is all about DeFi. It's about lending. It's really, really cool. And the lending product just got released. And I will say it's a little bit, how shall I say, needs refinement. It's a beautiful app, but it's a little bit slow, and it's a little bit, it's missing some of the user features that it needs to build itself into. But we'll talk about this in a minute. So it has been getting a lot of buzz on a lot of like major news sources, all that. And the Lend product is what's really neat, right? So there are other Lend programs and platforms out there like Anchor and some others. But this one's cool because it's all powered by Secret. And so I'm gonna jump into it and just show it to you. If you want to get into it, just go to Sienna.network right here as you see it, and then hit launch app, and that will take you right here into the app itself. And so let me go back over to this. You will need Kepler set up. If you don't know how to use Kepler and that whole world of like Cosmos is new to you, just know this. In my notes for every video, I have a new course on Udemy just about, it's much more about Osmosis, which is another DeFi platform inside of the Cosmos ecosystem. But I teach you how to get into all of this. I teach you how to get into Kepler. I teach you how to get into Osmosis, what Atom and Secret is about, how to acquire it, and just how to get going with all of it. So if you're like, this is cool stuff, and I like that it's privacy preserving, I like that it's encryption and privacy of the individual first, and it's built on Cosmos, but you're new to this, go check out that class. It's a great way to get into it. And it's a really cheap class. It's not super expensive. I'm not charging like $100 or anything crazy like that for it. So check that out. So anyway, here's Sienna. So there's both a swap function, a wrap function, which wrapping is sort of like how you bridge kind of from one crypto to another, or wrap into it. Using another crypto. And but what I want to show you today, this is not, again, none of these are full reviews, but I want to show you the Lend product. So here it is. It's already doing well, right? So total value locked up already is $5.2 million. So it's kind of acting like a small little bank at this point in time, with $285,000 borrowed. Now you got to think, remember yesterday's video, I talked about SEC, the Security and Exchange Commission, really here in the US coming down hard on stable coins, DeFi lending, the earn products on the CeFi side of the house, like BlockFi, Celsius, Nexo, all of those. They're really coming down on this because they view this as a threat to their ecosystem. And they also claim, they won't say this, but they believe that it's a threat to what they're doing, and a threat to who they are. And so they're coming down on all of this stuff. Like it or not, better or worse, they are. And so Sienna is another one of these that at some point is going to draw the ire of regulators for sure. But this one's interesting, right? And it's protocol based. And I think protocol based lending is really, really cool stuff, right? We've seen so many bad historical examples of banks lending or not lending to like people groups and demographics that I think is a real shame. And regulations try to force a lot of that out. But think about for a minute with me. How cool would it be to have algorithmic based lending, right? Now there's no more like racism, sexism, like demographicism stuff that comes into who gets money and who doesn't and who has access to it. I think that's kind of cool. I think that is a great thing for us to have in place. So I don't know, it's definitely worth looking at. So here's the way this thing works. In order, if you want to make money on all of this and you have crypto, you can lend it. Just like I could put money in with a bank and I sort of get like 0.1% back APY. Banks are terrible, right? But I can put some money in. This is much, much different, right? So all of these are staked derivatives. So it's not the actual, like it's not secret, it's staked secret, or it's not ETH, it's secret ETH, right? So you can input your crypto that you own into this. You have to stake, or you have to wrap. I'm sorry, to get into it, you have to go over here to wrap. And this is not a demo, so I'm not showing you how to do all this right now. And it's too slow. The demo would bore you. I probably will do a full demo at some point. Just let me know in the comments if you want me to, but I'll probably have to slice some of it up to make it much more quick to get through. Here's Osmo, right? And I'm actually doing Osmo a little bit right now. I went into this just to play around with it, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to have to deposit into it. So you're going to take your assets, you deposit in, and then what you do is you hit this on button and make sure that you are authorizing it for collateral. And that's basically you putting money into this entire product that can then, the algorithm can then use to lend to others. And the money you make from the lending, that's where those APYs come from, among some other places. And so that's how that works. Now, if you want to borrow, it's a little bit different, right? Your ability to borrow comes upon your borrowing power, right? So based upon how much you see this right here, the amount you have enabled as collateral it kind of equals how much you can borrow. And that might bring up a question of like, well, why would I want to put money into this only to borrow back? Well, the advantage of this is you don't lose what you've put out, right? So it sounds weird at first. Let's just get simple. Say I have $100. Why would I want to give them $100 just so I could borrow $80? I mean, I have the money. Why would I do that, right? The advantage is this. I'm not actually giving up my money, right? If I said I had $100 and I need to spend $80, if I spend $80, I lose the $80. In this case, if I lend the $100, to go spend the $80, assuming that what I'm going to spend it on, I get that money back, then I get my collateral back too. So I don't lose $80. In a sense, I'm back to $180. as long as you make that money back, right, that you borrowed on. So it's a very simple example, but a lot of people don't understand how these algorithmic borrowing features work. And they're like, why would I ever give money, like give it out just so I can go use what I already own? It makes sense. That's the reason why. I hope that makes sense to you. So that's how it all works. And you can see how this, you can see the percentages based upon all of this, your borrow APY, how much has been borrowed for each of these. And so it's actually small. This whole platform is quite small. US Tether is actually probably one of the heavier ones, but let's go back to Osmo since we were taking a peek at this one. So the market size in Osmo is $69,405 and 31,000 have been borrowed at a 13% APY. Now that APY is kind of high, isn't it? Right. So this, but again, assuming you can beat that 13% market, there you go. And I still need to learn more to understand what drives the APY percentages, what will make them go up and down. But I think when you see these smaller ones here, this is why you might see greater amounts they're issued out. But anyway, if you want to see and you get into this, I've currently put a little bit in with Osmo just to play with it. You go over here to rewards, and then you pick the one that you've already gotten into. So I'm doing Osmo right here. I'm not. This pool size 66,000 is not just me. This is others as well. So you can hit select, and this is where the whole thing gets a little bit wonky. It's a little bit slow. You have to like authorize your viewing keys and things like that to be able to see it. But you can see my deposits right here, 428 SL. I think that's Sienna, or maybe it's SI. It's hard to see. The font's so small. Staked Osmo. So you can see that I've got some in here. My pool share is 0.05% of that entire 66,000. So it's not a big pool share that I have here. I just put in a little bit. So I'm going to play with this and kind of see what I think. But I think lending projects are really, really cool. See what the government does in their ability to stop these things. But I'm a big fan of what they're doing, what they're allowing. So that's the second project that I wanted to chat with you guys about. And let's talk about the third one. I've had a ton of people talking to me about Telos. You guys have been blowing up my Twitter. You're probably watching right now. You're like, yes, there he is. He's talking about it. So I was loosely aware of Telos. I've seen it come across in some of my channels before, but didn't know a whole lot about it. And I figured that I would jump in and give you some thoughts on what I have around Telos as a whole. So let me go back to this. Now, one of the ways I found out about it, like I said, is you guys were all tweeting me. Remember me talking right here about this tweet about trying to get into StepN. You guys also like jumped in, and this Kestos user wrote in and says, hey, check out Telos. I know you're a tech guy. I think you'll like it. Right. So I wrote back. I'm like, yeah, I like it. It seems kind of like a fork. It's not really a fork. It's like a new version. And I think they use the EOS code to build on top of it. I'm pretty sure of that. Right. So that's not a fork, I recognize, but something like that. Right. They're like, no, it's in no way a fork of EOS. Well, it kind of is, in the sense of like, there's two ways you can look at a fork, right? A fork is like the same code. We're just like forking off, like almost like you saw when Bitcoin did their hard fork that happened a while back. And that's where we got Bitcoin Cash. But you could also sort of fork the code, create a brand new project from it as well. And that counts, right? And so I don't know where that comment came from, but let me bring this down a little bit too. And I thought this was funny. Let me bring this actual tweet. So I got 7 other replies back. So this user saying, no, it's built on the same underlying protocol and code. That's exactly right. Right. So that was good. Not a fork. Again, everyone's being very clear. And this was pretty interesting. So I'm going to bring this up, and I want you to take a peek at this that a user sent to me. Now, I'm not authenticating the data, right? So I don't know that this is true, but looking at it, my brain tells me this is all pretty close. So they're comparing market caps and speed of network, right? So keep in mind, transactions per second is not like the end all be all to crypto. There's a lot more things that are important than just transaction speed. But I mean, as we saw with Bored Apes this past week, when the Overland or whatever it was, that NFT came out, it literally broke Ethereum. If you don't follow me on Twitter, make sure you do. I'm at Wes_Spencer. Go follow me there, because I did a whole Twitter thread about how the whole Overland NFT drop literally broke Ethereum. Did you realize there is a guy or gal or whoever that literally spent $44,000 in Ethereum fees to get access to their Overland or Overture, whatever it is, NFT? I mean, think about that. $44,000 just in fees to be able to get it. That is a broken crypto. Now, I'm not saying Ethereum will forever be broken, but there is no debate that transaction speed and gas fees and clogged up ecosystems, not good for Ethereum. So that's kind of what they're showing here with Telos being able to be 10,000 transactions a second. And yet the market cap is minuscule, is tiny. So They apparently have a pretty big army coming after me, trying to get me to cover it. So I'm covering it, right? I'm listening to you guys. And then whoever Telos Kin is, man, calm down. No, you are wrong. You are wrong. Keep in mind, Telos Kin, I asked a question. You see that question mark? I said, it's kind of, sort of, which it kind of is, sort of like a fork or an upgrade to EOS. Like, that's literally correct. No, you are wrong. It's whatever. So let's talk about the project. I actually think it's pretty cool. So don't hate on me, Telos Kin, for picking on you, but be a little nicer, right? We've got too many like mean crypto people around. Let's be nice to each other. Okay, so home to the fastest EVM. EVM is an Ethereum virtual machine. So let's talk about what this thing is. So first of all, some things I really like about this, right? Right away, easy to get to, right? Like if you want to go buy some on Uniswap or whatever, and I actually don't own any. Keep in mind, I'm not sponsored by Telos or StepN or Sienna. I'm just covering them. I'm sponsored by Cheez-Its. Actually, I'm not, but I want to. So Cheez-Its, get in the crypto game and sponsor me. What I really like about this too is it's super easy to even bridge into this. Look at this. So let's say I happen to have some ETH or I don't know, some Binance. It is crazy easy to get into this thing. So I could put in one. Why did my Binance not come up? What's going on here? It's kind of weird how it does this double pop-up thing. I don't know why it does that. But anyways, one Binance at about $400 US earns me about 564 Telos, TLOS, Telos. I don't know how to pronounce it. So it's pretty easy. You connect in your wallet. You're going to connect it. For me, it'd be MetaMask, and off I go. Very simple to get into this. I love that. Both very, very simple to get into this. So what's unique about it? You can watch this video. The video is pretty sharp. They're basically saying, look, this is a layer 1 Ethereum virtual machine, which means it's going to interact with Ethereum very, very, very easily, of course, but it's its own layer 1. And so because it's its own layer 1, it's not running on top of Ethereum. Ergo, it doesn't have to worry about gases and oracles and fees and all that kind of stuff that go on top. It literally doesn't worry about that. So it's extremely cheap. I watched a couple YouTube videos of people doing demos on it. And indeed, like the transaction speeds are like almost instantaneous, at least at current rates, but the project is tiny and small and it costs pennies. Like literally, I think it was 2 cents for a transaction to go through. That's the way it ought to be. They say no gas fees, but there's some amount of fee that's in it anyway. Fast and scalable, no front running. So front running is really cool. It's not cool. The ability to stop it is cool. So secret network, I've talked about front running as well. So what happens with the front running? You have all of these exchanges like Pancake, Uniswap, Trader Joe, all of these that are out there, Osmosis. And front running is when you see trades coming in and you put a higher fee in to get in front of that trade. So a huge bulk of sell orders just came in. You get in front of it and you sell before they sell. Huge buy orders come in, you get in front of it by high fees and you buy before they buy. So you're beating the market before the market moves. That's called front running. And the way that Telos is stopping front running is literally first in, first out transactions. And that only works if indeed it's super fast and scalable, which it claims to be. So that's kind of cool, right? They say it's decentralized. I think it's all open source. But it is community driven on the voting and all that kind of stuff. So it looks like a great project, right? I'm pretty excited about it. They show some compares, contrasts inside of all of it. And, the one user I posted on Twitter was right. It's a tiny, small market cap that's out there. So I think that's pretty cool. Their white paper talks more if you want to learn more about what Telos is all about. Really, I think one of the big things that they talked about is because it is built off of or from the EOS project as a whole, they talked about one of the big challenges the EOS project has is the centralization of ownership. And in other words, so few people own the majority of it. In fact, they even show this, and I haven't authenticated this data, but they're saying 1.6% of EOS holders own 90% of the tokens. If so, whoa, right? Like that's potentially not good. So they're definitely fixing that. They're trying to eliminate whales. We've learned in the crypto space that's actually harder to do. You can't just say, well, we've got a hard cap on the number of people that have the amount of crypto you can have in a wallet. Well, you can have one person own a lot of wallets. We saw that happen with Juno. So it's harder to stop than we might think, but I still believe they're doing the right things here, right? So they even show the ownership differences here. So, but that's not the only difference. There's some other things that they mention in here as well around the differences on how it's a little bit more secure, how the block works, why it's faster. how they're reducing inflation compared to EOS. They're at 2.5% of like new crypto they introduce versus EOS being at 5%. So they talk about some of the things that are inside all of this. So definitely take a look at the white paper if you want. It's a pretty good white paper, pretty easy to read, not overly technical or anything like that. And the other thing that's pretty neat about it is there's already some apps, some dApps, decentralized apps that are running on top of it. So Zappy is one, and I actually was looking at Zappy. It's pretty darn cool. Sort of like the osmosis of the Telos world. So I'm definitely taking a peek at it. This is the DEX that's out there. You can actually open this one out. I've just taken a peek at this one as well. And so the way you get into this is really pretty simple. I guess this one doesn't want to load, but let me show you how to get in. If you're interested in getting in, let me scroll down a little bit more. The way you get into this is you're going to install MetaMask, which I've already got it up and running. And then once you install it, what you're going to do is you are going to just import the actual code. So this is like the same way you get like Binance running on MetaMask or anything else. So they give you the actual the URL for it. So that's mainnet.telos.net/EVM. It's like for the blockchain itself, the chain ID, the symbol, and the block explorer. Pretty simple stuff, right? So once you import all of that, then you can switch over to the Telos network. And because it's an EVM, an Ethereum virtual machine, it just works natively on MetaMask, which is really nice. And then you can send TLS to your account. And then, of course, if you want to get started, the Anchor wallet is where you can download this from the App Store or Android store, create your account, and then hold your own Telos. So I think it's pretty cool, right? I like where it's going. Maybe some of the community might be a little bit aggressive with me or whatever. Like, I'm not offended, right? But Telos is definitely a cool project and one to watch as well. And its market cap is indeed quite small. So we'll see where the project goes. I'm not endorsing it. I'm not saying it's going to blow up. I'm not giving you any price analysis. I'm not saying to buy it, right? None of those things. If you're just catching up with me, I said this at the beginning of the live stream, the three I talked about today, like, make your own decisions, my friends. Like, don't listen to me. I'm not telling you to buy any of those things. Maybe you should buy none of them. So do your own research and, all the right things. Go consult your own financial advisor, all the things that the crypto YouTubers say. By the way, you don't want to know why they say it. They say it because they're worried that one of you is going to, like, I don't know, go sell their house, put a mortgage up into some crypto that somebody pumped and it fell apart, and they come after that YouTuber. People are worried about that. And that's why, like, every one of my videos, if that ever happens to me, I'm just going to laugh, and we're going to play him in court, one after the other, and be like, so where was it that I said that you should go buy this one because it's going to pump to the moon? I think you can find a lot of other YouTube channels that are out there that are telling you this is going to blow up to 1,000. This is going to be the biggest of the year, whatever. And the truth is, they don't know what they're talking about at all. So there you have it. Those are the three that I have been looking at. I think they're pretty interesting. If I had to, like, have one that I could get my hands into right now, it would be StepN, because I haven't really done a lot of play to earn, and it's right up my alley in terms of, like, being able to incentivize some activity. So again, I'm going to say it. If you're watching this and you're in and you're holding out on me and you've got an activation code, please send it my way. I would love to have access to it and love to give it a try as well. So there you have it. Those are three. I'm curious to know from your side of the house, which of those three that you like the most, or if there's one that you think I should be looking at that maybe is a little bit better or different or cooler or not cool, just something that's got your interest. Let me know what that one is as well. Just pop it into chat, and I'd love to know what it is. And also, while you're here, I'm about done, but would you hit like and subscribe for me? That really does go a long way. I mentioned we're getting close to 100,000 subs. We should have it by sometime this year, as long as you, my friends, hit like, hit subscribe, and share this to your friends so that we can make that happen. All right, my friends, I'm out of time. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day. Thanks for tuning into the live streams. A whole bunch of you came in today. Really, really appreciate that. Until next time, my friends, I will see you later. Thanks.